Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down, down. Too many stop drivers on the road now. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never. So why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It's time for our on the road discussion for this morning. Ladies, I must let you know though, I've been getting some calls. Some people around the countryside not hearing us due to the fact that electricity is not in certain areas. So we might not get a big response this morning. But regardless, though, we're going to keep the program rolling because we're going to have a rebroadcast, and the goal this morning is to get the message out regardless of how many response we get. But just letting you guys know in terms of what we're dealing with. And if you do get back electricity, just let us know. And we thank you for tuning in and being a part of our programming. Welcome to all of our listeners who can hear, and welcome to all of our viewers as well. And let me say good morning to the two lovely ladies in the studio. I'm not going to get into all the ranking details that they're here every weekend, but every week I should say, but just in case you don't know, Inspector Phipps is on my right, and Sergeant Henry is on my left. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning, GQ.
Good morning, all. This morning, we will be dealing with the topic of derelict vehicles.
Okay.
And we all know that derelict vehicles are any vehicle that is partially dismantled or wrecked or deemed abandoned and does not display a current license plate, and such vehicle is left in such a conditions to the extent that it's not roadworthy or, in essence, inoperable for more than 7 days is deemed a derelict vehicle. The procedure with dealing with derelict vehicle is that we, the officers, we would go out and scan the areas, and then we'll go back and place a notice on those vehicles to remove within 24 hours. If we could find the owner, you must move that vehicle within 24 hours. If we cannot ascertain who the owners are, within 7 days, we will have that vehicle removed and rest at the landfill. However, we only deal with vehicles that are on the road. Any vehicle that is on a private land or any other than the government road, we don't deal with it. What we will do is assist the persons or the owner of the properties to ascertain the owners, and we will be there to have the smooth transition of them moving the vehicle to the landfill.
All right. Sergeant Henry?
Yes, as the inspector was saying, and if when we found the owner and we give them that notice and they do not comply, we remove it, but it will be at a cost at the person. So the person will have to pay still. So remove it at the landfill, and there's a cost. And if we don't know the owner, you have 7 days, and we take it to the landfill. Right now, we are seeing a lot of these derelict or broken down vehicles, and they are very hazardous to the public. It's not only rodents, but persons use it as a dumping ground or to hide some kind of equipment or something. So later on, they could go and retrieve it. So we're asking persons, and we're appealing to the general public who have derelict or broken down vehicles that are not in use, to take them to the landfill. If you want such, you put it either in your yard or a private property. But as long as it's on the government road and it's not licensed, for a period of time, we're going to remove them.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add, or you want to open the lines now?
With with regards to derelict vehicle, it's not just only the police officer's duty, but it's also a health hazard. And we will be having a conversation with person within the Ministry of Health to assist where it is needed, where person have an excessive amount of vehicle on private lands that are dangerous and just harboring rodents and other insects.
All right, so we're going to open the lines now. 465-2555, that's 2555. And for those of you in the United States, Canada area, 718-577-2916. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Mr. Libert. Good morning to you, Inspector Phipps and Sergeant Henry. Good morning to you all. Pleasant good morning to you all.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, man.
I am very happy to hear Inspector Phipps says that they're going to be dialoguing with the Department of Health for derelict vehicle on the street. I would hope that they would dialogue with solid waste about the thick brush hanging across the street, making the passageway narrower than the roads that we have to drive on. It is almost everywhere they are. However, I had some observation, and now that I acknowledge the things that I see, I would like to speak about. I know that you all have provided enough to educate people and to put the signs and direction, which of course one should follow, the safety and letting people know how to maneuver, in fact, navigate the streets and roads. But it's obvious the signs that are placed just across on the land of Port Zante, which coming, you can see from Port Zante, from the sands, you should not enter across the street. And coming from westwards from the post office, the sign to your left, we drive on the left-hand side of the road, and these signs are placed specifically on the side for us to see based on our observation and understand, do not turn right into Port Zante. It's happening. It is happening, and I'm hoping that those who does it, I'm hoping that, if they hear my voice, I'm hoping that they see and acknowledge these things are wrong. Do not practice these things. It's bad practices. You only make your work more difficult. However, the lines in the roads, the center line and both lines on the side of the road, needs painting. Some of them partially erased, some are totally erased. And those lines, especially at night, is what help us motorists to navigate the road, how wide it is. Yes, so narrow for us to see the lane what we are driving in should be in that lane. Speaking about emergency, there are too many streets, there are too many roads. On the island road in particular, in Keyon, especially the Challengers and Sandy Point, these vehicles, somebody have to take some steps. Somebody have to see what is best done. Somebody have to see what is right based on what we know is wrong, instead of accepting it and try to correct it. About 2 weeks ago, coming from Old Road, the road was blocked up, and that is someplace always, whether day or night. You don't have to be on the weekend. And there goes an ambulance coming down. We cannot afford to have a road blocked on an island main road when there's an emergency vehicle. It's obvious. We don't know what takes place. I am asking Inspector Phipps and Sergeant Henry, I am asking for the traffic department of the St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, I am asking, therefore, for us to see and hope that we at least acknowledge the things that all you are giving us based on the ideas of things, how to maneuver the traffic, do so. Or you have done a lot, or you continued, but there are some things, I'm not saying all you overlook it, but let us all see how we can work together. Have a good day, and goodbye.
Any response? Thanks for your call, by the way.
Thank you, Carlo. I want to thank you for your observation and your concern. Yes, persons are still turning right into Port Zante, that is on the eastern side. And that is an offense. You're not supposed to, you should not turn right when you're coming from west to east. When you're coming out from Port Zante, you can turn left or right, because there's a sign out saying you can turn left to go into town. But you're not, or you should not turn right into Port Zante. That's on the eastern side.
Caller, as it regards to Challengers Village, with regards to the parking on the left-hand side or the mountain side of the road, we are deliberating on to have a no parking within a certain time on the island main road. As we know, Challengers Village, hardly any parking space there, but there is an area where the old road used to be. There's a wide lot where persons can park. We know everybody want to park directly in front of their homes, but it is safe and secure. So I would advise person at times, especially in the day, if you could avoid parking on the Island Main Road and probably park in that area, it will help with the traffic, with the free flow and safety of the traffic within that area. As regards to Old Road, in the area of the Chinese supermarket, there is a restricted parking area. There are yellow lines, and I would have a conversation with my sergeant in Old Road Station and ask him to monitor that area.
All right, we don't have any calls at the moment. I know the topic this morning at hand is derelict vehicles. The drive has started. The awareness campaign, I should say, has started in terms of what we should know as the public and what we shouldn't do as well. Anything else to like to add to that conversation, or anything you want to raise in general?
But to persons out there in Radio Land, if you know of any areas within, we are starting within our policing district, that is Bastia area. If you know any area where there are vehicles on the road, we welcome your calls and your concern, and we'll look into it deeply.
All right. What about you, Sergeant? Anything from your end?
Well, this is not something that we just start in GQ. This has been ongoing. But persons are deliberate in doing this now. So we're going to clamp down on it, and we're going to start as of next week. Because we spoke to persons before who have vehicles there. And you go back and you're still meeting them there. You put on the notice, they are still there. So we're not going to talk anymore, and we're not going to place any notice on them that we placed before. We're going to just remove them.
Okay. Let's take this next call. Good morning. You're live.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, man. Go ahead, morning.
I'm maybe the critical person you referred to yesterday, but I don't care too much about that. I'm not a rude person. In fact, big people don't rude. Officers, I respect you all and the effort that you are trying to make to alleviate a lot of these problems. But from the time police come and they talking traffic and so, we've been hearing these things. Now I know people are changed, personnel are changed, so they're going to come behind your idea. But I see something there that you all ain't following. A lot of these vehicles, rare number plate, you cannot see the digits because a blackness comes over the white. So oftentimes you see the front number, but you don't see the one to the back. And I don't believe you are supposed to be asking or begging people to do this, do that. But you all need to just enforce whatever the law is. Enforce the law. Because I know in St. Thomas and St. Croix and them places here, if they say no parking here, is no parking. I don't know what happened to us here. You know, no parking means no parking. I could understand in the city last year where somebody drop off something and they move on again. Because you got some space here. Because you got two or three lanes here. Unofficial lane. But on the Island Main Road, and some people don't even want to park, and they don't want to park all over even to the side of the drain. I mean, I'm from Challengers. I'm not afraid to say where I'm from. And I see a lot of that. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. I used to call in regularly, you know, but I stopped because I am disgusted. I'm disgusted with a number of things, with government operations, police, other civil servants and so forth. The things they're supposed to be doing, they're not doing. They're bypassing. I see somebody park to a side road cutting in the Island Main Road. They break down or something. And police pass there. And police ain't stop to investigate. Yet they say they're cruising around. And you say something about the people in all over the police. When they were building, and I'm done right now, when they were doing all road there, they come with a plan, because I went to a meeting, myself and others, And I never once seen the police come to challenge us to move people off the road. And even though these trailer trucks were passing with these big boulders and other kind of sediment for over there, people are still parking on the road, and they could have do better. And no police come and no time I see in the day. And I always have been challenges. Have a good day.
Any response to the call? You want to move on to the next one?
Thank you, Carly. Yes, you talk about the number plates. And for private vehicles, the number plate should be black with white letters and numbers. And anything other than that, it's illegal. That is not conforming to regulation. So if you cannot see a number on a number plate, it is illegal. The rental is red license plate with white letters and numbers. And the omnibuses, what we call the passenger buses, is green plate, white letters and numbers. Taxi, yellow plates with black letters and numbers. So these are the color of the plates for each vehicle and the colors for the numbers and letters. So anything other than that, if they are black, it's illegal. I have seen some and I have spoken to persons. We give them a time to get it remedied. If it is not fixed, then we charge them.
Any response from you, Inspector?
Well, as I would have observed too, is that some of the number plates, it depends on the material in which the persons make the numbers with. So sometimes the plastic or something and it tends to peel, and so the digits tend to turn black, or they fade somewhat. And so we would have spoken to drivers. Some have changed them, and of course, we have those. So those are the ones we will deal with accordingly.
All right. Okay. 465-2555. We'll now take your call. Good morning. You're live and lively.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
We have behind by Lime Kill there by the ball field. Coming down there, they have a lot of old vehicles, old concrete mixed down there in a state.
That's it?
Thank you, Carla, for that information.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Good morning. You live?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Liebert.
Hey, good morning, Dayo.
And Happy New Year to you.
Same to you and your family.
Yes, sir. And also to Happy New Year to the officers there. Liebert, remember I used to call in talking about the Fort Thomas issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since when Inspector Charles was there, then Sergeant Brown and others came in. And I realized that I was only wasting gas. So I had stopped calling to say, well, what I seen happening across Fort Thomas Road, because nobody is taking me on. It don't make sense. I called in to say what I seen happen. I might sound stupid, ignorant, or something, but it is a fact. Anyhow, I heard her speak about coming from the east to have vehicles diverting in Port Zanta and the right. Which part of the roundabout you're speaking about?
We are speaking on the eastern side. You're not supposed, or you should not turn right when you're traveling from west to east. That's by the Sands Complex.
If you're coming from down by the Shellburg, from east.
Right, that's east to west, but I'm speaking about west to east.
West to east.
Yes, sir.
Well, you also have people on the road to make sure that it doesn't happen. If you're going to come on the radio and speak about that, some people are going to want to know which part of what you're speaking about. There are two roundabouts.
I said on the eastern side of Port Zante.
What by around the Blacktoff, only one way you could go, and up by Hartsford, car rental, you could go in and get out. But anyhow, I only call in because after I heard you speaking about the roundabout coming from east and people making a right turn, I just want to clarify. But I don't have to call in anymore to say what buses or whatever is coming across Fort Thomas Road, because I'm not getting no satisfaction from no authority. You have a good morning.
Thank you for your call, ma'am.
There were officers up to Monday across there because they issued some tickets across it to the omnibuses, so Monday afternoon self.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good morning, you live.
Morning.
Yes,
Good
morning.
The crossing down in front of China and the road that is no longer supposed to be in use, you all need to paint it black. I saw a lady crossing with a child the other day, and this is what she's telling the child. No, run, walk, because if they don't want us to use it, they should move it.
All right, thanks for addressing that to the officers. Any response, or we want to move on to the next call?
Caller, with regards to that crossing, I had a conversation with Public Works, and that crossing was already being painted black, but because of the material in which it was done with some sort of plastic material, the paint would tends to fade in a short time. So what they are going to do is apparently dig up that area and have it redone and pour over asphalt. That's the only way you could get out the crossing in that area. So even if you put on the black paint, the black wood, you're gonna come off in a short time. If you look at all the crossing that we would have taken up, it would, especially if we have heavy rain, it would be removed easily.
Okay. I understand. So the remedy for that is to
resurface it. Yes.
All right.
But there's only 2 crossing in that area.
Okay.
And it's by Social Security Building and by the museum.
Those are the 2 areas.
Only 2 crossing. You should cross.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. 465-2555, 718-577-2916. We just have about 5 minutes left before we wrap up this morning program. If you have a concern, a question, or issue you want to raise, or even a recommendation, you can do so now. If not, we'll call it that for this morning and thank the inspector and the sergeant for being here this morning and look forward to our next conversation next week. But the topic at hand this morning is derelict vehicles. As the sergeant said, this is not something new, but a drive that they will start again.
Yes, ridiculous. So we're asking the public, if you have such and you need them, or if you want them, place them somewhere other than the government road. Even if you put it on a private land, and as the inspector said, we're going to be talking with health to get some of these off those lands also.
Indeed. Inspector, any last words from you?
Yes, as I would said, I would have mentioned earlier, if you want assistance, we can give you the assistance in having the vehicle removed, but it will be at your expense. So don't bother feel like, oh, I'm going to put this vehicle on the road so that the government could remove it. But once it's on your land, you will have to bear the expense.
All right. Thank you for being here, ladies. And thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Stay tuned. On 9 o'clock report is up next. Compliments to Grange.